Get ready for a double dose of action today, folks. Welcome to the Action Hero Podcast, the show that takes you straight into the heart-pounding worlds of, well, action heroes.
That's right. We've got two incredible stories lined up, two totally different settings, but both exploring how heroes adapt and overcome when the stakes are high.
First up, we're going way back in time, back to the Mongol Empire. We're talking Genghis Khan levels of history here. And our source material for this one is titled Arrow versus Bullet, which right off the bat, I think gives you a sense of the conflict we're going to be digging into.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's that clash between the old ways and the new. Tradition versus innovation.
Yeah.
All playing out against a backdrop of, like, a crumbling empire.
Exactly. So, listener, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to figure out how a mysterious firearm, they call it the Great Khan's Thunder, could completely change the course of the Mongol Empire. We're talking about the kind of weapon that could rewrite history. And at the center of it all is this young leader, Temujin, descendant of Genghis Khan himself, trying to hold everything together.
It's a real gamble for him, right? He's betting on this untested weapon to help unite his people.
For sure. And speaking of gambles and untested things, our second story takes us to a completely different world. This one's called Shadows and Shotguns, and it features a dark elf bounty hunter with a weapon you won't believe.
Right. I mean, a dark elf with a shotgun, that's not something you see every day.
Definitely not. And the shotgun isn't firing your typical buckshot either. We're talking shadow bullets, which I have to say sounds pretty badass.
Oh, absolutely. And she ends up stumbling onto a conspiracy that could have consequences way beyond just her little corner of the world.
So buckle up, listeners, because we're diving headfirst into two worlds of action and adventure. First stop, the Mongol Empire. Imagine, if you will, a vast empire stretching across the plains. But it's an empire starting to crack at the seams. Rebellions are breaking out. Loyalty is shifting like the desert sands.
It's in this setting we meet Temujin, the young heir, trying to live up to the legacy of Genghis Khan. He's facing a serious challenge from this warlord named Batbayar.
And what makes this story even more interesting is that instead of showing up with a massive horde of warriors, like you might expect, Temujin arrives with just a handful of loyal followers.
But he does have the secret weapon, right? The Great Khan's Thunder. A weapon no one's really seen the likes of before. It's shrouded in mystery and rumor.
Yeah, like a ghost story almost. Merchants whisper about it. People say it was found in Genghis Khan's tomb, but no one really knows what it can do.
And Temujin, he knows he needs to make a statement. So he challenges Batbayar's best archer to a contest. Skill and tradition, the bow and arrow, against this unknown weapon.
Talk about a high-stakes gamble. I mean, if he loses, it's pretty much game over. But if he wins...
he might just win over the respect and maybe the loyalty of those wavering tribes.
Right. Now picture this. It's a wide-open plain. The wind is whipping across the grasslands. On one side, you've got Batbayar's champion, this legendary archer, years of training behind him.
And on the other side, you have Temujin holding this strange metal tube, this musket. I mean, he probably feels a little awkward, right? He grew up with a bow in his hand, not this thing.
Oh, totally. And you can imagine those first few attempts to fire the musket are, well, less than impressive. Struggling with the loading, the aiming. I mean, it's a completely different beast than a bow.
Meanwhile, the archer is just knocking arrows out of the center of the target. It's almost embarrassing. You can practically hear the whispers from the tribesmen watching.
Yeah, I can imagine. They're probably thinking, what is this young Khan doing with that?
Yeah.
That contraption.
Right. It really highlights the point that just having new technology doesn't automatically make you better. It takes a different kind of skill. You have to adapt.
And that's exactly what Temujin does. He's like, wait a minute, I've spent my whole life mastering the horse, right? Controlling its movement, feeling its rhythm. So he starts applying those same principles to the musket, adjusting his stance, compensating for the recoil, taking the wind into account.
He realizes it's not about brute force, it's about finesse. It's about understanding this new weapon, how it moves, how it breathes.
And when he finally takes aim again, boom. The sound, they say, is like thunder echoing across the plains. Smoke fills the air. And when it clears, there's a hole in the target. Maybe not a perfect bullseye, but further out than any of the archer's arrows.
The crowd goes silent. You can practically see the doubt melting away from their faces.
It's like a light bulb going off. They're seeing the raw power of this weapon for the first time. The archer, the master archer, he steps up for his final shot, but the pressure is on, right? Everyone's seen what the thunder can do.
And in that moment, his arrow falls short. The tradition, the centuries of skill, it's eclipsed by this new, untamed power. And the reaction from the tribesmen.
Oh man, it's electric. Cheers are up. They're suddenly believers. They see Temujin in a new light. Not just the heir, but the innovator. The one who's not afraid to embrace change.
And that night, the feast is held in Temujin's yurt, not Batbayar's. The musket sits beside him, a symbol of a potential new era for the Mongol Empire.
It's a powerful image, right? But it also hints at the challenges still ahead. I mean, the empire is still fractured. There are still those who cling to the old ways.
Exactly. The musket might have won the day, but it's just the beginning. Temujin still needs to convince his people to show them that this change, this new way, is the way forward.
And as we leave Temujin there, contemplating his next move, we shift gears entirely to a world of shadows and, well, more modern firepower. Let's talk shadows and shotguns.
This story drops us right into the action. We meet Vera, a dark elf bounty hunter, striding into a seedy tavern. She's not your typical elf, is she?
Not even close. She's got this hard-edged look about her, like she's seen some things, and she's carrying a weapon that would make any self-respecting elf faint.
Shotgun. And not just any shotgun. This one is covered in runes imbued with magic.
And it fires these, get this, shadow bullets.
Which, if you think about it, is pretty genius. I mean, what else could possibly contain that kind of volatile magic?
Right. It's this crazy mix of magic and technology, and it speaks volumes about the world Vera lives in.
And she's not afraid to use it. I mean, the moment she spots her target, this mage named Caloran, the chase is on. And she's using that shotgun for more than just shooting.
Oh, yeah. It's like an extension of her will. She blasts a shadow tendril, wraps it around a table, blocks a doorway, all in the blink of an eye.
The chase spills out into this back alley bazaar. It's chaos. People are scattering. Stalls are getting knocked over. And then, boom, Caloran throws a fireball.
Like you do when you're a mage on the run, right? But Vera, she's quick. She doesn't even flinch. She grabs some spices from a nearby vendor and whips up a flashbang.
Talk about thinking on your feet. She turns the environment into a weapon. It's brilliant.
And she eventually corners Caloran, but there's this feeling, like a sixth sense, that tells her there's more going on than just a simple bounty.
And right on cue, this mysterious figure appears, cloaked in obsidian, radiating dark magic. It's a total game changer.
Caloran sees his chance and escapes, leaving Vera facing this new threat. And this figure, they're not interested in Caloran anymore. They're interested in Vera and her weapon.
Right. They recognize her dark elf heritage immediately. And they're intrigued by this shadow-firing shotgun.
And Vera, she's not backing down. She sees an opportunity here, a bigger payday maybe. She's always one step ahead.
The figure offers her a new contract. Something big, something dangerous. But first, they want to know more about her weapon. Its secrets.
And Vera, being Vera, she demands a down payment. No freebies for this bounty hunter. She's ready to face this new challenge head-on, shadow magic blazing, shotgun at the ready, and that's where our story leaves us. On the edge of a knife, waiting to see what happens next.
So listener, what stood out to you in these two stories? Was it the clash of old and new in the Mongol Empire?
Yeah.
Or the shadowy magic and intrigue of the bounty hunter's world?
In Arrow versus Bullet, think about what happens when a new technology shakes up the established order. How can one weapon challenge tradition and force leaders to adapt? What does Temujin's journey tell us about navigating change, about trusting our instincts?
And in Shadows and Shotguns, consider the choices we make, even when facing the unknown. What drives Vera beyond just a reward? What does it say about her that she's willing to take on a powerful, mysterious figure? And what kind of world blends magic and firearms so seamlessly?
Both stories, though set worlds apart, show us heroes facing the unexpected. They show us the challenges of power, the importance of adaptation, and the unpredictable nature of conflict. We hope these tales have sparked your imagination and left you wanting more.
So don't forget to rate and follow the Action Hero podcast for more epic stories and insights into the world of, well, action heroes. Until next time, stay adventurous.
And keep that action hero spirit burning bright.